Herzlich willkommen auf meinem Kanal. Ihr seid beim Essay in den 1992. Wir starten wieder mit Steelrising Part 4, Part 1 und 2 habe ich auf YouTube falls wen interessiert. Ja. Ja. Ich hoffe es gefällt euch. Viel Spaß beim Video. Und wenn ihr Fragen habt, bitte gerne. Ich werde schauen, dass ich es dann so schnell wie möglich beantworte. Oder eben im Stream, wenn ihr dabei seid. Ja. Und hallo an meinen Zuseher. Also ich bin wahrscheinlich
Monsieur Marat.
Huh? Hey? Who goes there? La diable, je m'attendais. So this is the famous Huntress Diana I've heard so much about. Truly, 'tis an honor, madame. Now let me have a look at you. Oh, you're just as they described. An angel of death, descended from the heavens to vanquish the clockwork tyrant.
Who depicted me this way, monsieur?
Mes compagnons, madame. Chief among them is Monsieur Chaudelot de Leclos. They have observed you dispensing justice all over the city. A most expeditious justice at that, as befits the crimes committed by our good king. What a strange machine you are. Gifted with intelligence, clearly, but also with speech and the freedom to do as you please. Cependant, you are still an automat. Who is your master?
It was on the Queen's orders that I came to Paris.
The poor thing. To what new level of desperation has her husband's madness driven her? Does she finally intend to leave this kingdom, where she should never have set her dainty little feet?
No, monsieur. She means to put an end to her husband's madness.
What, with you? You in what army? That's quite amusing, you must admit.
And you, Monsieur Marat? Who is your master?
I serve not a master, but a cause. That of the Duc d'Orléans. His cousin the king has no place on that throne, and nor does his wretched dynasty. The Bourbons, along with their wars, their crimes, and their vices, are finished. It's high time their scepter be passed to an enlightened, just monarch. One who is sympathetic to the people's sufferings. But now that I think about it, madame, look at us. We've been standing around chatting like old friends for several minutes, and I still don't know to what I owe the pleasure of your visit.
I must go to the Bastille, where Monsieur de Vaucanson is imprisoned.
Oui. Such a sad fate for a king's lackey. And what do you want with your creator? This man whose blood-stained hands built the army that's currently setting Paris ablaze.
What Vaucanson has done, only Vaucanson can undo.
Fair enough. Alas, while I come and go as I please through these tunnels, it is impossible to enter the fortress.
Impossible, dites-vous?
A sanguinary automat is spreading death and terror in the depths of this quarry. At the cost of their lives, my comrades were able to sabotage the floor of the cave to limit its movements. Nevertheless, it stands between you and the tunnel that leads to the Quartier du Temple. And that's the only way to reach the Bastille.
And yet that's exactly what I intend to do, Monsieur Marat.
À votre guise. I shall not attempt to dissuade you. There is one small thing, though. I had to disable the mobile walkways to protect myself from the automats. But since you managed to come here, I assume you already know a lot about these devices.
Indeed.
Here. This would allow you to reach the lower tunnels. Have you fixed the walkway?
I am working on it, Monsieur Marat.
That's the only way to reach the lower tunnels. The mechanism is on this level, near the walkway.
Monsieur Marat, did you take part in an operation that aimed to kidnap the Dauphin and his sister Charlotte?
Me take part in an operation? Nonsense. My only weapon is my pen, and I have sharpened it, believe you me. That said, we did receive some information concerning the children. Unfortunately, I'm sworn to secrecy. If such an operation did indeed take place, Monsieur de Leclos would have been the one behind it. Alas, I fear that he is no longer of this world. There is little doubt that he and his men fell in the galleries.
Dites-moi, Monsieur Marat, what exactly are you doing hiding in a quarry?
I've made a lot of enemies. In my publications, I have always denounced the corrupt, and those who corrupt them. These vampires who cheat the weak and bleed the nation dry. Chief among them? That crook, Lafayette. That Trenz Sabre. A career soldier who thinks he's Caesar. Not content to maintain an army of rats, this Blondin has all the Châtelet's judges in his pocket. It seems my prose upset him, as he swore to hunt me down. If I hadn't fled, I'd have been done for, there's no doubt about that.
Who are your compagnons?
Patriots who come and go in the quarries throughout the city, under the command of Monsieur Leclos. Alas, there are few left. And I wager that it won't be long before the machines that have taken over our hiding place find me. My hours are numbered. Mais vous-même, have you found any companions for yourself?
Members and supporters of the Third Estate have gathered at the Cordelier Convent.
Would you be so kind as to name them?
In addition to Monsieur de Robespierre, the Comte de Mirabeau is there.
Le Flambeau de Provence. An artful chameleon who skillfully dons every colour of the rainbow.
The Marquis de Lafayette, Monsignor de...
Say no more. They're just the privileged class celebrating the marriage of cowardice and treason. With adversaries like them, the king is sure to triumph.
Who is Monsieur de Leclos?
A brilliant writer whose pen has shaken the old world, but is also an experienced military engineer who has sworn his sword to our common cause, to his great misfortune, it would appear. There is little doubt that he died leading his men through the tunnels.
This mattress is stained with blood, as is this jacket. Who could have stayed here? Monsieur Marat will surely be able to tell me.
Look at them, parading around like peacocks. These scoundrels, rotten to their very core. See how they proudly display their vices and shameful privileges, tirelessly working to drag morality through the mud, trampling love itself.
The Queen is said to have read your liaison before her husband banned it. It's hilarious, isn't it?
I'm not surprised. No matter how hard I work to denounce their immoral practices, the aristocrats saw my novel as nothing more than a light-hearted bit of fluff. How naive I was to imagine that my pen could slice away the gangrene of their debauchery.
Well, fortunately, you have more than one string to your bow, mon capitaine.
Das nächste lese ich glaube ich vor.
Have you fixed the walkway?
I am working on...
That's the only way. The mechanism...
Who laid on this blood-stained mattress?
Oh, it's a strange story. I suppose you heard about what happened in Place Dauphine?
Indeed. I went there.
Well, we took in one of the survivors of the massacre. The only survivor, it seems. Despite his serious injuries, he was particularly talkative.
What did he tell you?
He kept saying that Lafayette was a traitor in the king's pay. That the flaxen-haired hero had deliberately handed his brand new National Guard over to the Automats.
What evidence did your guest have?
Nothing substantial, unfortunately. It was based on a simple rumor that was circulating in the camp shortly before the Royal Army attacked. It would appear that several volunteers carried a yellow cartridge in their cartridge pouches. Most likely a subtle way for the conspirators to recognize each other. The subsequent disaster would tend to confirm this hypothesis. Vous ne croyez pas?
These are suspicions. Nothing more.
Right you are. Oh, if only I had proof of this conspiracy. Then I'd be able to scutter the ambitions of that cur Lafayette for good. The would-be dictator's plans would be foiled.
I must get to the bottom of this urgently.
Very well. I encourage you to do so. But remember that the Marquis could not have acted alone. If you can't find anything implicating him, look into the members of his staff. Start in Place Dauphine, where those brigands sullied the ground with their boots.
Thanks to what I learned from Monsieur Marat, I will use the mobile walkway to reach the lower levels. Voila. That should have fixed the walkway.
I wolno, że niczego konsumowa miał. Ja, was mir nur wer im Glauben sieht, ob da das Feld wirklich falsch ist. Bist du Gegnerin? Okay. Durchschau. Boah, das ist verwirrend, das Labyrinth. Da, was dritte Echo.
the Duc d'Orléans' faithful retainer, who was to prepare the way for his takeover, and now he has become one of the king's most bloodthirsty automats. How ironic.
Ja. Ausdauer. Fiolen, ich glaube, da kann man schon was anfangen. So, da kommen wir dann nicht mehr hoch. Gegenangriff. Okay. Oh Gott. No. Okay. Boutique verkaufen. Das sind 8000. Ich stelle mir ja einige, Alter. dritter Versuch und wir haben ihn.
Leclos, you're alive.
Platoon. Ready. Fire. Fire at will. Senor. We can't stop them. They're upon us. Fixed bayonets. Fixed bayonets.
The fighting has stopped. It's over. Voyez? The Huntress Diana appeared to us. She's the one who saved you.
But the troops. Where are the troops?
You are the only survivor, Leclos.
No. No. We were so close. But those machines... An entire battalion would have been unable to defeat them. We were forced to retreat. Chased into these tunnels by the automats.
It was madness to attempt an attack on the Bastille.
You're wrong. I'm a military man. It was a bold maneuver, but it was a calculated risk. After all, that old fortress is a pile of stones with no buffers, curtain walls, or bastions. As for its garrison, our agents were certain. Only a handful of veterans should have been there. A single charge should have sufficed to disperse them. But the king made other arrangements. He increased the fortress's defenses and placed a swarm of automats at the service of a terrible machine.
Why did you launch this attack?
3 of our companions were held captive in the fortress. Our best agents.
Agents?
Spies, if you prefer. We, the supporters of the Duc d'Orléans, have always worked in the shadows, within the Queen's entourage, in the tribunes of the Estates General, among the patriots in the clubs, amidst the rank and file in the army.
We have had some success, you have to admit.
What machinations have you discovered?
Enough to make Monsieur Marat's ink flow and bring down our rivals. Necker's speculations, Lafayette's dishonorable behavior, Mirabeau's corruption, and many darker secrets.
Such as Lafayette's plot to rescue the Dauphin and his sister Charlotte.
How on earth do you know that?
She seems as well informed as we are. Once again, the king has won.
That won't always be the case. But right now I have something urgent I must do. Tell me about this machine that guards the Bastille.
We were prepared to face an enemy, not an executioner. That thing, half butcher's block, half stocks, was designed to make heads roll.
Who captured you, monsieur?
There was some confusion in the fray, but Cagliostro was in charge. He was the one who ordered me to be shut up in that coffin. Then I was thrown into that awful place where I lost consciousness. After that, everything is a series of blurred visions, with a voice that ordered me to kill, again and again.
It was madness to attempt an attack on the Bastille.
You're wrong. I'm a after as he.
Ja, das haben wir schon.
I intend to enter the Bastille and free Monsieur de Vaucanson.
For what possible reason, mon Dieu?
She claims that he's the only one who can stop the machines.
Indeed, it's possible. In that case, if you're ready to face the abomination that blocked my path and slaughtered my lieutenants, then don't waste a second. Let's not stay here much longer, Marat. Let's head back to our burrow. There's still some wine left in this part.
More than enough, Leclos. More than enough.
Wonderful. We'll drink to our broken dreams until this finally comes to an end.
Kontermodul. Mist. Kann's nicht einsetzen.
Here you are at last. This is where the path to the Bastille begins. And to think, I would have never thought you'd make it this far. Cependant, I would advise you not to rush. The fighting in these tunnels has weakened the structure. If you go in there, I'm afraid you won't be able to turn back. Delors, I have just one bit of advice to give you. Before going any further, make sure you're not leaving behind any unfinished business. Any commitments that you've not fully met. I shall return to my hiding place. In these unsure times, you can never be too careful. Ne croyez-vous pas?
Ein bisschen Nebenmissionen machen. Und von da. So weit kann ich nicht. Als ob heute doch fest. Ich habe ihn am Anfang nicht einmal gesehen. Mann. No. Gott, da war Abgrund. Nur für früher mit Ausdauerregeneration. Das heißt, die kann dann wieder alles zuklappen. Ich bin nicht mehr drauf gekommen. Das heißt, ich messe jetzt drauf. Den Wickeln. Kann man gar nichts. Das ist auf die falsche Seite.
Come to me, my dear. You're not like the others, are you? You gave them quite a beating.
Madame.
Why didn't you come sooner, ma chère? Those poor children in the National Guard. They could have used your help. They marched all day on the Pont Neuf. Oh, you should have heard them singing as they marched on the Place Dauphine. They were very brave then. To hear them, you'd think that the king had already handed over his crown.
Then what happened?
As far as I know, gunfire, the booming of cannons, shouting, lots of shouting. And then silence.
None of the soldiers returned.
No, not a single one. My son, my little Francois. He left this morning to join the volunteers, but he hasn't given any sign of life since.
I'll try to find out what happened to him. Madame.
Do you have any news of my son?
Alas, I do not.
Will I never see him again in this lifetime?
Den Gegenangriff muss ich noch lernen. Also noch perfektionieren, sagen wir so. Okay.
Yellow cartridges. The conspirators' secret sign. There was most certainly a conspiracy. There's no doubt about that. But those involved shared the same fate as the rest of them. I should keep looking around Place Dauphine. Not even the commanding officer was spared. Lafayette didn't hand over his army to the king. This must certainly be Colonel Armand. I should keep looking around Place Dauphine.
Und zwar. Wie habe ich den übersehen? Ja, für die Kisten braucht Schlüssel, den ich nicht besitze. Ah, oder doch.
A headquarters at the Pont au Change. By all appearances, it's not official. Most likely an underground hiding place that can be entered from the riverbank. I'll try to track down Capitaine Lefebvre. If he and his men withdrew to the Société des Amis des Noirs, he must have gone towards the Châtelet. It would have been a desperate move for certain. I doubt any of them survived the retreat.
Das wäre eine Hauptquartier fliegen. Okay. Das war ein bisschen knapp. Na, du. Ja, haut mich Bein heute oben. Der war unfair. Das ist unter mir wahrscheinlich. Ja. Was habe ich jetzt gekriegt? War ja noch. Na, doch.
This gate has a lock that requires some combination of 4 letters. I should follow Capitaine Lefebvre's footsteps. He and his men withdrew to the Société des Amis de Noir. They must have gone towards the Châtelet. I doubt they survived their retreat. The poor souls. They died just steps from their goal. York. What does that mean? This place must be studied carefully. This document bears the signature of the Marquis de Lafayette, so the rumors were true. The Garde Nationale wasn't formed spontaneously. All of this was carefully orchestrated. It is high time the Marquis de Lafayette explained himself.
Ne, mehr Rüstung. Diskuswurf ist die Stufe 4. Okay, dann hinten mit. Den hol ich so. Hier kommt man nur Alchemiekapseln holen. Das wir sowieso brauchen. Einmal zwischen der Alchemiekapseln. Doch irgendwie. Doch, aber ich glaube, das sieht aus rauszukommen. Nee, da kommen wir nicht raus. Da wo ja gut. Kontrollieren, untersuchen. eigentlich die Frau hingegangen? Oh Gott, wo waren diese? Nein. der Kontrolle fast leer. Okay.
Monsieur Raymond.
Go on, Aegis.
I went to the Hotel de Massiac as agreed. What I discovered goes beyond your darkest conjectures. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the king's support, they plan to replace them with automat harvesters. The Count of Cagliostro is behind the plan.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only improve the lot of these unfortunate people.
You are mistaken, mon père. If the planters get their way, they will have a greater need of slaves than ever. Only this time, they intend to slaughter them to power their machines.
Quelle abomination!
Par tous les saints.
4 days ago, the Paris Guard captured 100 black people. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test the effectiveness of the automat harvesters. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is, but I managed to get the key. It bears the inscription, Tour du Diable.
The Devil's Tower is a prison in Vincennes, within the chateau walls.
That's 3 leagues from here. We'll only be able to free the prisoners once we're able to move freely ourselves.
At least they were spared the fate that the king and his accomplices had planned for them.
And what will you do with the 2 servants you employ, Monsieur Raymond?
I will continue to treat them well, as I always have.
However, under the laws you insist on following, they will become slaves again the moment they leave the kingdom for Saint-Domingue.
Certainly not, Monsieur de Robespierre. What kind of a man would I be if what I have heard had not opened my eyes? The planters of Massiac have been proven to be nothing but avaricious murderers. I thought I was dealing with opposition, but now I discover them to be vile enemies, from whom it would be vain to expect any compromise. From this day on, I will fight against their interests with all my strength, and will not lay down my arms until the last slave in the Empire has been freed.
Rest assured, then, that the people will fight by your side, Monsieur Raymond.
That's the spirit, my friends. Vive l'égalité!
Abschaffung der Sklaverei-Trophäe.
Monsieur B.E. Goodbye, Miss... Monsieur le Marquis.
I'm listening, Aegis.
I spoke with Monsieur Marat and Monsieur Laclos.
Ah, the scoundrels. Did you force them to confess? Do you know what they did with the children?
They admitted to organizing the ambush at Gros Caillou.
Cursed recreants. Cowardly corrupters of innocence. Where are they holding their prisoners? They must be rescued immediately.
They do not have Charlotte and the Dauphin.
Excuse me? They dare to claim that?
It is the truth. The ambush was a catastrophe. The king had gotten wind of your plans. Automats from Versailles slaughtered the kidnappers and seized the children. By now, the children will have been reunited with their father. There is little doubt about that.
Mon Dieu. Then it is from the clutches of that tyrant in his own palace that they must be saved. I fear that such an undertaking is doomed to failure, although there is no question of giving up.
Monsieur le Marquis, there is a most unfortunate rumor about you going round.
Oh, just one, is there?
You are accused of having delivered the troops who had gathered in the Place Dauphine over to the king.
Calumny. This is nothing less than vile slander.
Save your breath, General. The rumor is true. I can prove it. There's no point in trying to defend yourself. I know that you raised the National Guard for the sole purpose of taking command of it. There was nothing spontaneous about the uprising.
Do you have any evidence to support your accusations?
I do. I have the manifesto.
Bon sang.
Why resort to this manipulation?
You must understand. What I have done, I did for the good of the kingdom. I wanted to stop this massacre while protecting the Queen and the Dauphin. In the name of the people, Aegis. But an actual uprising of the people would have inevitably led to disaster. Only professional soldiers could organize and lead the resistance.
Who were your accomplices?
My brothers in arms, the brave men of the Régiment de Saintonge, veterans of the American War, men who at the Battle of Yorktown brought an empire to its knees. Alas, we gravely underestimated the enemy's forces. We thought we would face an infantry supported by a handful of machines, but an entire army of automats. It was unthinkable.
Some accuse you of harboring a lust for power. The circumstances were to your advantage.
These aspersions are all too familiar to me. But tell me, if I wanted the crown for myself, why did I not take it when I returned from America? When I had seasoned troops at my command, and the people sang my praises with one voice. No, that makes no sense. Though I readily admit that I do believe I am worthy of fulfilling an important role for the Queen, after her son is crowned. Lieutenant General of the Kingdom, for example. Or even, if circumstance requires, the Regent. Voila. Now you know everything. I haven't left anything out. However, this truth, if it were made public, would play right into my enemy's hands. So I ask you not to reveal anything I've just told you, and to give me the manifesto.
C'est entendu, General. Here.
Aegis, by doing this, you're not saving my honor. You're saving the future of the entire kingdom. Oh, and one more thing. Can you tell me where I can find my detractor? The one who told you the rumors about me?
I cannot tell you anything, General.
Oh, no matter. I will not let this serpent continue to vilify me. I shall get redress for these aspersions in the end.
Do as you wish, General de Lafayette. General, there is an alarming rumor about you going around.
Huh. Just one, is there?
You are accused of having delivered the troops who had gathered.
Calumny. This is not. I am. What's more, I did not call for the uprising. The National Guard came together on their own. This was the work of soldiers who rebelled and called on the people to rise up and defend Paris. It was only after they had gathered that the troops asked me to lead them. Alas, I was too late. But tell me, where did you hear this rumor?
From Marat.
Marat. It's always Marat. Nothing can stop that swinish mudslinger from slandering the most upstanding subjects in the kingdom. Ah, if I'd gotten hold of him, I would have ensured he lose his taste for gossip, believe you me. Me, throwing the people to the wolves. What if I see the Duc d'Orléans' hand in this? A prince without a kingdom, from exile. The wretch will stop at nothing to bring down the dynasty. He would go so far, but I don't intend to let it happen.
Goodbye, Monsieur le... Monsieur Marat.
Madame?
I'm surprised to find you here. Did you follow me?
Didn't you know? The Duke's allies are always impeccably informed. Some even say that we have eyes and ears everywhere.
What do you want from me?
To tell you the truth, I can't wait to hear what you've discovered about the matter at hand. And I was afraid you might leave me in the lurch. You can never be too cautious these days. That's why I decided it would be better for me to come to you.
You were right. Lafayette was behind this purportedly popular uprising.
Aha! I've got him at last.
But he had no intention of handing his men over to the king. His goal was to raise an army and command the troops himself.
It doesn't matter. These troops would have allowed him to crush the Patriots and set himself up as a dictator. He lied to the people. He lied to the Assemblée Nationale. His time has come. All I need is for you to give me the proof of his treason.
I have no proof, monsieur. You will have to be satisfied with my word.
Your word? What good is your word to me? Do you think I can convince people by repeating baseless accusations? Believe me, I have tried, but without much success. No, it's useless. I must admit defeat. We will have either the King or Lafayette, one despot or another. In either case, my fate is sealed. I will soon join the Duke in exile, and I will abandon my beloved people to their doom. I have no other choice.
Das war nicht so schlau.
Here I am at an impasse. Should I go to the Tuileries to examine the safe? There may be a way to force it open. I can get to the Tuileries Palace via the Louvre. Then I should be able to enter it through the courtyard.
Ja, und damit mache ich Schluss mit dem Stream. Ja, wie gesagt, ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Vielleicht lasst mal ein Like oder einen Kommentar da. Und wir sehen uns dann entweder morgen um 8:30 und 9 oder erst am Freitag. Das, oder erst am Samstag, Sonntag, sowas. Das weiß ich leider noch nicht ganz. Auf jeden Fall, danke fürs Zuschauen und auf Wiedersehen.